Inspirational Breakfast.
I understand you said you came to faith while participating in another musical, was that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
At university, I was doing the production of Jesus Christ Superstar by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And I was getting familiar with the role and studying it in audiovisual room in the Barber Institute of Performing Arts. And I was on my own, and I remember it so well. I watched the film, and at the end, the beautiful music of Gethsemane is playing. And I was crying my eyes out seeing Jesus on the cross. I was like, wow, this guy is amazing. Yeah. This guy, what he did for us is awesome. And
this was pre-faith, really, or pre a conversion experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Or you were just coming up to it.
This was the climax.
Yeah, okay.
But at that moment, that's when Jesus, God, came into my life. And my life changed forever.
I mean, did it change immediately? Did you say to your friends around you, your fellow students, I've met with God? Or, I mean, how did you, something you wanted to keep quiet about for a bit?
No, not at all. I guess I was going to church. The best thing it was that I lived in Selly Oak. Everybody who knows Birmingham University will know Selly Oak, or Smelly Smoke, as it's known. And my neighbour was a guy called Phil, a doctor who was a Christian. He kept on saying to me on Sundays, fancy coming to church, mate, fancy coming to church. Well, I thought, I wanted to go because I liked him. He was a good friend, so I went along to try to test the water, see what it was like, and I liked it. Right. And so I'd built some friends, a community of friends at that church. And so when I became a Christian, it's like, this all makes sense. And so I could share that with them. And you get that honeymoon period. Right. Do you remember that when you become a Christian?
I do, yeah.
About 2 weeks, it's like, you're on cloud nine. It's awesome. Right. And I've never been ashamed of admitting my faith. Right. And so, yeah, I never kept it quiet.
Right. Fantastic. And might we ever see a gospel, a Christian album from you, or is that not on the horizon?
I very much hope so. I've always said I'd love to record Christian songs, new and old. Right. There's songs like I worship you, Lord, I worship you, I give my life to you. Yeah. There isn't a reference of that on YouTube, or I don't think. I think there's a panpipe version on iTunes, but there's not a vocal. I want to record that song. Right. And other songs like Refiner's Fire and new songs. Yeah. So, yeah, one day I really hope to, and maybe play the Christian festival. We were talking off air about the fact that Tom Jones has just, and a fellow Welshman has just recorded a gospel album of hymns, I believe it is. I'm waiting to hear it at the moment. And you were saying your grandfather delivered Tom Jones. Yeah. That's right, yeah. My grandfather, Colin, was Tom's doctor in Pontypridd. I think they lived on the same street as well. Yeah, right. It's and Tom, fantastic singer. You know, he sings like he has the spirit within him. I don't know. I've never met Tom.
He sings with a passion. He
really does. Yeah,
he's just turned 70, hasn't he? Incredible,
really.
Yeah, yeah.
There are so many people who you wouldn't think are Christians in the world of music, but then you find out later that they are.
And going back to the Welsh connection, what is it with the Welsh? Is this a part of the Welsh revival, do you think, that so many people are turn their musical talents as Christians to singing to the Lord, you know, from Wales? I mean, we know so many of them. Well, I suppose there are those that don't as well. The Charlotte churches of this world, for example.
Well, yeah, but definitely. And for me, we spoke earlier about going to Sunday school and stuff. It was about the music. You know, you'd be at the Sunday school and you would sing fun songs. I remember a guy, he was called Ishmael.
Oh, I remember him.
I used to idolise Ishmael. You probably produced. Have you done a few albums with Ishmael?
I did a few albums with him, yeah.
I used to love his songs, you know, and I think from a young age I was immersed in music and loved it, and that was my way of worshipping and praising God, and that hasn't changed. Right. The style of music is slightly different, you know. It's evolved a bit. I'm not singing. Well, I still like a bit of higher, 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 Jesus higher, lower, 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 Satan lower. Remember the Ishmael song? But you know, I wouldn't probably record that on an album. No. But for me, that I don't. I mean, we're all open to the gifts. We are, if we ask for them. But I haven't really gone into tongues or you know, I don't think I've ever healed anybody. Not directly. I mean, obviously it's not me who heals. It would be God through me. But but I can worship through song. He's given me a gift.
Yeah.
And when I go on stage, when I'm singing secular songs, nothing to do with Christianity, I still feel...
That's the centre of the universe for you. You feel, this is what I was born for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That's such a blessing.